Thank you very much, everybody. Sorry to keep you waiting. Complicated business. Complicated.
Many celebrities don't realize how much they affect their fans. Some celebrities feel as though they shouldn't be seen as role models and don't even want to be role models. Being a role model comes with a lot of pressure. Being a celebrity may seem like it's all money and glamour, but in reality, there is so much more to it than that. Some people are simply born into it or get it handed to them, whereas others had to work hard to get there. Every move celebrities make is displayed for the whole world to view. Every little mistake a celebrity makes is highlighted and can be twisted and manipulated by the media into something that it is not. Many celebrities are young and make these mistakes often, but what we forget is that these people are still human. They are the same as us, minus all the fame and money. If people don't make mistakes, they will never learn from them. Celebrities are often criticized and labeled because people only see what they want to see about people, especially celebrities. And there's more to people than what's on the outside. Celebrities impact teens' lives in many ways, whether it be positively or negatively.
On the negative spectrum, some celebrities create unrealistic beauty standards for youth. The youth has started to question why they can't look like these celebrities and why they don't. Meanwhile, some of them don't even look the way they look naturally, whether they wear a wig, get surgery, use makeup, etc. Teens find it really hard to feel beautiful. It has even gone as far as these teens prioritizing their looks over their kindness and education. To them, nothing is more important than their looks, and that should not be their mindset. Teens also see their role models doing things they know they shouldn't do themselves, giving them the desire to try it. They want to be like their role models, and some songs including references to alcohol or drugs and pictures of them using substances, making kids tempted to experiment with them. Although many celebrities have been accused of promoting unhealthy standards, others explain that not everyone's perfect, comparing themselves with makeup and without. Celebrities also influence their audiences' understandings of issues like loss, addiction, sobriety, depression, eating disorders, etc. And a handful of celebrities might not use their platforms correctly. But many use their platforms for change and to spread positivity as well as awareness. Often, celebrities donate money, but some not only give their money, but they work with the community and help in more ways than the donation. Celebrities that do good things for their status often are not recognized, and they need more recognition for the positive things they do and shouldn't be brought down because of their past or their mistakes. The media and public focus more on the negative because it makes a better story and is often more liked by viewers. And many times, the public has concentrated on only the bad things a celebrity has done and completely blocks out the good.
Charli D'Amelio rose to fame at the age of 15 in late 2019 by dancing on the app TikTok, where she now has over 137 million followers. Having such a large following at such a young age is definitely not easy, as she has now come to realize. All celebrities make mistakes, but the distinct difference with Charli is her age. This has baffled many people, especially considering she was only dancing on a social media platform and it got her so popular. She's a teenager that goes through the emotional roller coasters that everyone goes through, and while going through all of this, she is trying to find herself. Unfortunately for her, everyone gets to watch it happen all over the internet. Not too long after her rise to fame, Charli D'Amelio was criticized for seeming ungrateful for her personal chef and disrespectful towards him. He had been explaining what the meal was and that it contained snails, leading to Charli making faces, later asking for dino nuggets. There's ultimately no excuse for the way she acted, but one mistake doesn't define her as a person. Charli got famous for doing something she loves, and her fame has opened so many doors for her that many people aren't fortunate enough to have. There's room for both activists and young entertainers on social media, and Charli shouldn't be expected to be both. It would be great if she was because of how many people she has in her following, but she's young and will age to decide that on her own. Charli, on the edge of getting her fame taken away, shows young people that all their actions have consequences. By Charli doing what makes her happy on TikTok, she's inspiring young people to follow their dreams and do what they love. Ellen DeGeneres is a comedian, television host, actress, writer, and producer who has also received the Presidential Medal of Freedom from former President Obama. She has played Dory in Finding Nemo and started her own talk show, The Ellen DeGeneres Show, where she interviews celebrities, hosts audience participation games, and spotlights real people with extraordinary stories and talents. One of her most famous sayings is "be kind," which has often come to bite her. On her talk show in 2008, Mariah Carey appeared for a celebrity interview. Little did Mariah know she would be pressured by Ellen into disclosing her pregnancy on TV. Not only did she pressure her into disclosing such personal information, but she went on to offer her an alcoholic beverage knowing she was pregnant and couldn't accept her offer. Carey didn't want to announce that she was pregnant, which many understood concerning there can be many complications that occur during pregnancy. But Ellen selfishly told the whole world in an attempt to gain more publicity. Many pregnant women wait to share their news until they reach their second trimester when the risk of miscarriage falls, but Ellen took that comfort away from her, and tragically Carey had a miscarriage. Ellen is a grown woman that knows how hard it is to announce something like that on television, considering she revealed she was gay on TV. Ellen had inspired and encouraged her viewers to express themselves by coming out, but pulling stunts like she had on her show with Mariah really put a dent in her reputation.
Eminem is a special case when it comes to being a role model. Marshall Mathers grew up in Warren, Michigan, just outside of Detroit. When Eminem was growing up, he faced a lot of difficulties with not only his family, but bullying from his fellow classmates. Eminem never had a father in his life, with him leaving when he was only an infant. This gave him a lot of anger issues as a child. This has all contributed to his fame because his music reflects on himself as a person and his childhood. An article from Vice states, "I've always been able to turn to his music as confirmation that my worst actions weren't actually so abnormal," which can be said for a lot of his fans. People love him for who he is and how he is able to rise from the ground up. With a lot of kids these days needing an outlet, some turn to music and find Eminem. They find their own interpretation of themselves in him, helping them feel normal. When finding out about Eminem, people don't realize he actually has 3 different identities, with Marshall Mathers being his real identity, Eminem being his entertainer identity, and Slim Shady being his thug identity, created from years of abuse and drugs. There have been a multitude of songs created from the alter ego of Slim Shady, with most of these songs being great hits. But a lot of Slim Shady's songs have a lot to do with profanity, from rape to sexual assault to homophobic slurs, etc. With kids these days trying to get a way out of anything, they might come across Eminem and his ideologies and not understand that Slim Shady is a person you aren't supposed to be. Now, I'm not saying that listening to Slim Shady's music will turn you into him, but if you look at his past relationships with Kim Scott, those lyrics might become reality. Eminem also has a child himself named Haley, which you can see from songs such as Mockingbird or Kim. Eminem understood that being put into fame is not something a child should be put under, and due to this abnormal blow-up when Slim Shady LP released a year after he was signed to Dr. Dre's record album Aftermath Entertainment with other rappers like 50 Cent and Kendrick Lamar. Eminem wasn't ready for fame when he boomed, and he saw it as overwhelming for him and his life for his daughter. This was very influential to his fans because he is putting his family first instead of worrying about his fame. It shows he is just as human as the rest of us. Eminem is only seen as a bad influence depending on the way you view him. He has helped many people feel normal, but some people interpret him in the wrong way, and since they look up to him, they do the opposite of what he's trying to tell them. Eminem is a great example of turning his pain into hope for others. James Charles, like Ellen, is also part of the LGBTQ community. He rose to fame at the age of 17 through social media, and he knew from a young age that he was gay, and in 2015, 3 years after coming out, he established himself as a makeup and beauty guru. In late 2019, he created his own palette with the help of Morphe. To many teens of our generation, he has been inspiring. Unlike Ellen, James was much younger when he came out, coming out at the age of 12. This is not easy for a child considering he was in the middle school, and often kids had trouble expressing themselves without the fear of being judged. Wearing makeup, butt pads, and wigs as a male is a hard thing to do because every action a person makes always results in opinions from others, and being a celebrity makes that much harder. And teenage kids are confused, making this weird for kids to see for themselves, but it's a good thing for kids to be exposed to because being gay and expressing yourself is a good and perfectly normal thing. Although James Charles had been a good influence for a few years, it all went downhill in early 2021. James had been accused by multiple young teens of grooming them. Instead of admitting that he had done what was being said of him, he lied after manipulating this child and said that he didn't know his age when he had relations with him and blocked him. James had not only one, but 2 inappropriate relations with minors. He claims that he was desperate to feel something, but was it really worth risking his reputation and confusing teenagers? He took advantage of his fame and his fans because they were inspired by him. As if what he had already done wasn't bad enough, it got worse. He pressured a minor into sending him inappropriate photos. This is not only a lesson for kids, but for other celebrities as well. Celebrities see this and get disgusted and fear the negative backlash, causing them to steer away from that. It has shown fans that if they do get lucky enough to speak to their role models, they should be careful because some of them, like James, could take advantage of them. James' experiences have shown kids a lot of what to avoid, what they can do, and what they should do.
Tom Brady first started in the NFL in 2000 when he was drafted as the reserve quarterback for the New England Patriots behind starter Drew Bledsoe. Unfortunately for Drew, in 2001 he had gotten injured, but luckily for Tom, he was able to step in and change the NFL forever. Newly retired Brady is known as a legend, and his legacy will never be forgotten. Throughout his career, he has definitely had a great impact on his fans, especially young football players. Tom Brady's drive for success is what gives him the title of a good role model. Fans look up to him and see that he works hard to get where he is, which has greatly influenced our generation. He is not your everyday young cocky football player. He plays the game for more than just the money, or because his physical capabilities allow him to do so. Tom's passion is clearly genuine. It literally is his life. The passion sets a good example for his audience. He influences them to do what they love, and not simply do something because you can. Even when people were saying that he should retire, he didn't want to just give up just yet, because his life was football. Physically, Tom may have been deteriorating, but his passion only continued to grow. Although Tom Brady has had a good head on his shoulders, he has had a past behind him as well. His legacy was almost tarnished by Deflategate, an incident involving the game balls used in the AFC Championship game in 2015. The principle behind his scandal escalated when Tom Brady spoke out saying, "I have no knowledge of anything, I have no knowledge of any wrongdoing." Tom Brady's role in this incident was that he had ordered New England Patriots staff to intentionally deflate game balls for the AFC Championship game, resulting in not only his name but the Patriots getting dragged through the mud. It wasn't until after the Patriots had a ticket to the Super Bowl in a win of 45-7 that questions arose. This incident resulted in Tom being suspended without pay for 4 games of the upcoming season for his involvement with the evidence against him. Tom and his scandal has shown us that our actions have consequences, but also that you can always come back from mistakes that you've made. He had created such a good name for himself, and if Deflategate did completely tarnish his reputation, his fans would be crushed, misguided, and disappointed. Before becoming the 45th President of the United States in 2016, Donald Trump had gone back and forth between political parties, but he is now a part of the Republican Party. He is also the only US president ever to not have political or military experience. Despite this, he did many things as president. Recently, Trump has spoken out regarding the events in Ukraine. When other Republicans spoke on the topic, they encouraged the Biden administration to take strong actions against Putin. Although Trump is no longer president, he still continues to make strong impacts. He is still influential to American citizens, as he was invited to speak at the annual Conservative Action Conference, where he spoke on the events in Ukraine, saying that our leaders are dumb. Now, of course, this would cause an uproar due to the fact that Democrat Joe Biden is now the president of the US, and there are many other leaders of today's world. As you can see, one's words can often prove more powerful than their ranking of their social status. Although Trump is no longer in office, he still has an important form of control. His opinion matters to many citizens of the US, one being that he criticizes Biden and his administration any chance he gets. Trump still wants to hold the power of being president, however, he is no longer president. Therefore, his influence is slowly fading as he does not have the authority anymore to strengthen his arguments and opinions. Trump has said many things that are very controversial, as anything in politics are. He often brings down other countries and politicians simply because he believes he is superior. This has caused many people not to support him, and it proved to have a great impact on the election in 2020. One of the main reasons for people not voting for him was simply that they didn't like him. When voting for something as important as president, you have to consider what they offer and what they can do for our country. Many things can be taken away from Trump's presidency. Some opinions should really be kept to yourselves, especially when you're considering candidacy again. No one wants a cocky, egotistical leader. Although he has had quite the downfall, Trump has shown people that you shouldn't ever give up without a fight, and that there is always a chance for redemption.
Kim Kardashian. If you don't know the name, you must be living under a rock. Daughter of the lawyer of O.J. Simpson, Kim is mostly known for being famous for being famous. Building her brand on her body, family drama, and infamous sex tape, it's hard to see Kim as a good influence. And she really isn't. When someone has as many followers as her, you would think that they would try to moderate what they are saying in advertising. But when Kim promoted an appetite-suppressing lollipop, she eventually deleted the post after being ridiculed by promoting sketchy weight loss products that could be detrimental to people's health, especially the teenage and young adult women who follow her. This is on top of the fact that she claims that her full lips and round posterior are completely natural and obtainable, leading people to ask how detrimental feeding out these unrealistic standards of beauty is to the mental and bodily health of her followers. Even younger teens say that Kim perpetuating these unrealistic standards is detrimental. Seeing Kim as a role model does not help the stress that young girls cave into. It makes them crave more likes and followers at the expense of their health. Seeing as how natural Kim says she is, it is not surprising that people question the authenticity of her stories. One such case is when she was robbed in her hotel at gunpoint in Paris during Fashion Week. People questioned the validity of the claims based on her previous lack of transparency and sometimes blatant lies. That is bad enough as it is, never mind the fact that she majorly influences how people live their lives. She doesn't just lie about stories, though. With a collection of claims about the benefits of corsets and detox plaguing both interviews and social media posts, it is not surprising that people don't know what is real and what is fake when it comes to Kim K. All of this being said, you would think that Kim would at the very least reevaluate how she presents herself, but it is apparent that all she looks for is attention. It doesn't matter if it is positive or negative, because to her, it's all the same. One of the few good things that Kim has done is advocate for the Armenian genocide on her platform and even speaking at the Forbes Women's Summit. She has tried to do good, but it is hard to look past how her influence has plagued the minds and feet of all people, young and old. Oprah Winfrey is often seen as one of the most influential people of her time. As a successful Black woman who built up her own platform, she uses it to inspire others in positive ways. In terms of positive role models, you won't find anyone better than Oprah. Unlike many other celebrities and talk show hosts, she did not steer away from controversial topics. Speaking for minorities is very common for Oprah. She would discuss topics such as homophobia, addiction, infidelity, and child abuse, sometimes drawing from her own experience as a victim. Using her own experiences was a way for her to connect with her audience. It made her relatable and easier to connect with. She saw how people looked up to her and used her influence to publish self-help books to continue helping those looking for guidance. One thing that a lot of influencers, celebrities, and role models alike lack is transparency. Oprah made sure to be open and transparent with her followers. Instead of following the trend like others in her career line, she follows topics that she believes deserve attention. She is authentic and only talks about and supports what she believes in. She preaches good morals, the importance of helping others, and looking out for those in need. It is a top priority of Oprah to make sure she is not leading listeners astray. People who follow the influence of Oprah are following the right people and are helping lead towards a better world. As a celebrity, she realizes that she can and does change the way that people live their lives, and instead of using it for her own personal gain, she uses it to better the lives of her followers and the world around her.
These celebrities have created a big impact on our generation. Some celebrities have come to realize they don't want fame and attention because it creates a much bigger problem in their lives, with them being watched at all times. Many have been made out to have the perfect lives, but in reality, they all have flaws and struggles. Many make mistakes, so they learn from them, and many make large impacts on other people's decisions, whether it be positively or negatively. Their mistakes prevent others from making the same ones they had made previously, watching the aftermath unfold all over the internet. Some mistakes celebrities have made have also encouraged some teens to follow in their footsteps because of how much they adore their role models. Celebrities can't prevent their fans from making the mistakes they've made, but they can stop and think before doing those things so that their fans won't even get the chance to see it, leading to their interest being sparked. Being a celebrity comes with unwanted and unexpected responsibility. Many celebrities don't know what they are getting themselves into when their fame begins because they feel pressured to be perfect. Some also become overwhelmed by their status, but that pressure often leads to their downfalls. The media then feeds on their weakness and dramatizes their hiccups while also shielding the public from all the good they do. These people are only human, and with such high expectations set for them, they are subject to harsh realities.